of the year 2012, scientists at CERN made an announcement that absolutely rocked the scientific community. They announced that through one of the CERN experiments, they had discovered a new particle, and it was in the mass region precisely where that Higgs particle was predicted to be by the standard model. They'd never seen it before. So they said, if the standard model is working, and we collide these particles and they break down into their elementary constituent particles in the area of a certain energy level, we should see something. That energy level is 126 giga-electron volts. They'd never looked there before. And when they made this discovery, it is now called the Higgs boson, the Higgs particle. So the properties of this Higgs boson are precisely consistent from where Peter Higgs had predicted. Well, this is important, and this is where it gets really, really interesting, because for the Higgs boson to exist, there must be a Higgs field that it is emerging from. The Higgs field is the elusive field that we're going to be talking about. The Higgs field has now been validated. The Higgs field is believed to be the field that scientists have been searching for 3 centuries now, since the time of Isaac Newton. The ether that fills the empty space. It's now accepted that this Higgs field is the field that exists everywhere, all the time. It's what gives particles their mass. So at the time of the Big Bang, just after that primal release of energy, when those particles were created, they began to expand. It is moving, because they're moving through the Higgs field, that some of the particles interacted with the field in a way that slowed them down and gave them mass, while others continued to move at the speed that they were originally. This is, in the scientific world, this is a blockbuster discovery. This is a landmark discovery, because this field that has been questioned, the speculation has been, does it exist? Is it there? We now know that it is, and it's given many names. Some people simply call this the Higgs field. Some people call it the field. Some are calling it the source. Some are calling it the matrix, as Max Planck. Some are calling this the divine matrix. And for the rest of this program, just to make it easy for our conversation, I'm going to use either the term the matrix or the divine matrix to describe the field that we're talking about now. So the question is, now we know that the field is there. This matrix is there. What does it do? How does it work? Well, this field fulfills 3 fundamental principles that make your life possible, my life possible, and the world as we know it possible. Number 1, the field is the container for all things. All things that we know, all things that exist in the universe are happening within the confines of this field, of the divine matrix. Number 2, it is the bridge between our inner and our outer world. It is the bridge that explains how our thoughts, feelings, emotions, our prayers can be created from within us, but find the people and the places that are the object of our prayers, whether in another room or halfway around the world. It's the bridge. And number 3, this field is the mirror. It's a quantum mirror in our world for what we truly believe in our mind and in our heart, and what we create in our imagination. So when we ask the question now, who are we? Our answer must incorporate our relationship to this field, to the divine matrix. I've spent much of my adult life exploring many of the ancient indigenous traditions of our past, and my exploration has taken me into some of the most magnificent and beautiful and remote and isolated and pristine places remaining in the world today, such as the monasteries of Tibet that were very available to me in the 1990s. And it was in one of these monasteries that I had the opportunity to meet with the elder, the abbot of the monastery, and it was while I was writing the book titled The Divine Matrix. And I asked this abbot, from his perspective as a Buddhist scientist, as a Buddhist scholar, I asked him, what is the stuff that fills the field of everything? What is the stuff that holds this universe together? What is the force that allows everything to be as it is in the world today? And answered my question with a single word. And the word was compassion. So the answer to my question, what is the stuff that fills the universe? What is the stuff that holds everything together? The abbot had just answered me with the word compassion. And I looked back at him and I said, is compassion a force that fills the universe? Is it the stuff that holds everything together? Or is compassion an experience that we have within our bodies? And then they looked at me with a single word for the answer, and the answer was simply yes. That compassion is both a force that fills the universe and holds this world together, and it is an experience that we create within our bodies. Now, I'm sharing this with you because on the cold, damp floor of a monastery at almost 16,000 feet above sea level on the Tibetan plateau, this beautiful, powerful, brilliant Buddhist man had just shared with me one of the deepest secrets of the human experience, that we have within us the ability to interact with the force that fills the empty space of the universe. And that interaction and that force is the focus of their lifetime of study. So when I asked him about the role of compassion in our lives, what he was saying to me is that because this field is a mirror for everything that we create within us, we create compassion in the world by becoming compassion in our lives. The field is reflecting what it is that we become. In other words, we must become in our lives the things that we choose to experience in the world around us. So the rules that govern Planck's field, the rules that govern the Higgs field, the rules that govern this field that the abbot is describing for me, those rules tell us why the abbot was absolutely correct when he said to me that we must become in our lives the things that we choose to experience in the world. Both the discovery of the Higgs field and the wisdom of the Tibetan abbot tell us that not only are we connected through a field of energy, but we are the field. We are the matrix, and it's because we're the matrix that the discoveries that describe it are describing us as well.